My name is Sarah Sook. I am the Operational Excellence Engineer at Ancestry DNA. Today I want to discuss what my role is, what my career looks like, and how I work in technology. I have fun at work every day, and while I'm at work and while I'm having fun, I'm improving work and improving systems. So when I hear the term working in tech, a lot of times even my mind goes to computers or goes to digital or goes to I have to build something brand new that nobody's ever seen before. And honestly, my brain doesn't work that way. And so sometimes hearing working in tech or having a technology career is a little intimidating. The truth of the matter is my specific job and my specific career path is actually improving upon existing systems and existing products. So I want to describe that for you because it's fun and exciting, and I would love for you guys to join me. So I am a process engineer. You could also call me an industrial engineer or a manufacturing engineer. My job primarily looks at improving existing systems or improving existing processes. Most of the time when I'm improving work, I'm looking at how people interact with systems or with processes and how can I improve that work for that person? How can I make it more safe? How can I make it more comfortable? How can I make it more enjoyable? And that's what really drives me. And then at the end of the day, every company needs to make money. So how can I minimize the amount of waste that's in the system or waste that's in the process? And how can I maximize the flow so that we're getting quality products off of that process line? So I would like to illustrate for you the types of improvement activities that I do in my role. Most of the time when I do an activity like this, I would want to have all of you in a room together to experience it, as well as to see firsthand what's going on. There's a lot more you can gain when you're in person. First of all, we can have a good time together and laugh and joke and make the improvements ourselves. But also, there's things that you can hear when you're in person that you may not hear on a video. There's things that you can see that you may not see in a video because we can turn our heads and we can move around when you're in person, right? You can touch the product. You can feel how the room feels. Is it too cold? Is it too hot? You also can feel, is there tension between the people that are doing the work? Is somebody frustrated, but you can't tell by looking at them? You can just feel it when you're sitting next to them, right? Also, when you're in person, you can ask those questions that you want to ask right then and there. And that moment is hard to recreate when it's in a video. And then lastly is that you guys would actually be the ones doing the work. And I can't impress upon you as much like how important this is, that when you do the work, you actually get to learn and feel and see and understand what these operators are doing every day. And there's probably little bits of that job or of that task that you can't see or feel or hear, that you can only experience when you're doing the work. So that is extremely important, and that's why I normally insist upon it being in person. Anyway, because it's not in person, I have recruited my family, and we are the Shape Up, Ship Out company. It's a family-owned and operated company since 2007, and we make shapes that are then used by sticker companies to make their stickers. Here's an example of what we make. Every sheet of paper will have 3 copies of the shape in the different colors on that sheet of paper. We have 6 people that do our work. We have a material handler that releases materials into the process every 10 seconds. We determined that that's the number that's needed because that's how often we need to have something done. We have a quality control person to determine whether it's a good product or a bad product. And then we have 4 drawers that draw the triangle, the square, the circle, and the little plus sign. So while we watch this simulation, while we watch our people work, I want you to pay attention to where is the material? Where does it get stuck? Where does it move? Does it move too much? What are the people doing? What is the actual task? What are people not doing? Make notes of any questions that you would ask if you were in person. And then also think about all of your questions in a way that you're trying to understand what's going on. You're not judging what's going on. You're not saying it's the wrong way to do it. You're just questioning, why is it done that way, in a way that can help find possibly a different alternative. So let's watch that video. So what are your observations? What are some things that you want to question? Some things I noticed is that there was paper everywhere. There were piles of paper building up in different places. There were people reaching around everywhere. There were some people that were just waiting for something to do. Some questions I asked is, was there an order to the tasks? Were they supposed to do them in a certain order, or could they do them in whatever order they wanted? Why didn't people help each other out when those piles started to emerge? And was there a process flow? The paper kind of went all over the place, right? So some modifications that I would love to try, and again, when I say try, meaning it's not going to be permanent, it can be changed back. Ideally, you include the people that are doing the work to make these changes. Nobody loses their job. They might just have a different job. And I want to make sure everybody's safe, right? So some things I would want to try. I want to change the order of the stations so that the flow is very clear. I want to change where their inputs and their outputs are so that, again, the flow is very linear. And I also think that those operators can do more than they're showing us, so I want to move some of the operators around. We also should see how successful the team was. So the material, as I moved around the table, it actually moved at least 133 inches. That's a lot of movement for a piece of paper. There were 3 good units that were made. There were 3 bad units that were made. So although total we made 6 units, we could only sell 50% of them, and that's not a great number. So we need to improve upon that. Hopefully these changes can improve upon it. So again, when we think about what we're seeing, I want you to look for the same things. I also want you to think, what else can we improve upon? How could I help specifically? And then is there anything I'm missing? What haven't I asked? What haven't I seen? How can I adjust so that I can learn some more? And again, seek to understand. So let's watch the activity again. Right, so after this second run, I noticed that material was still piling up, but it piled up in different ways than it did the first time. I still saw some people were waiting. I saw some people were rushing, and other people were pacing or they were slowing down how fast they worked because they didn't have anything coming at them. I did notice some mistakes getting passed on to the next station instead of being taken care in place. So some questions I had was, why are we introducing materials into this process at such a high speed when the process doesn't need it? And again, can the operators help each other? So this time, some things that I would try is balancing that workload. So could we add another operator or another drawer to certain stations? Can we have them fix their mistakes right away? So make quality everybody's job and make sure that mistakes are captured right away. Release them from having to only work on one station, so help each other as soon as they find that somebody else needs help. And then only take material into the process when the process needs material. So only pull material into the process when it's needed. And I think that those might be some fun things to try. Again, how did we do? Well, this time we only moved the paper 54 inches, so we had an improvement of 60% less movement by the paper, which is great improvement. We had 4 units that were good, but still we had 4 units that were bad. So we can't sell those 4 units, even though if you looked at just our total numbers, we had an increase in total units made, but it doesn't tell the whole story, right? We can only sell half of those things. So let's try the third round. Again, pay attention to all the same things. As we look at those, I also want you to add, is there anything new coming out? Are we seeing different things now that we've made changes? And then where is our next opportunity? What is the next thing that we can try to change? Let's go. Okay, so in that last run, what are some things that you saw? Again, material did pile up, but it piled up differently. This time, corrections got made right away. They were captured, sent back, and fixed. And the flexing really helped to have that extra operator in there. Some questions this time that I had was, could the flexing start sooner? So when the triangle station needed help, could the plus sign station help out sooner? And then also, we had that quality control person there that, do we need to have quality control separate, or could it be built in? Therefore, that person could be used as the triangle. So maybe we have 2 people at plus signs, 2 people at triangles. Some more ideas of maybe what to do next, even though we're running out of time in this situation. I would put those flexing people, the people who could go back and forth, I would probably put them in between the stations so that we don't have any backflow of that paper, right? It's always flowing forward. And then what about maybe a stencil or a jig that we could place on the paper quickly? We could use that stencil to get those shapes quickly. That might help, might cause more trouble, but it might help as well. Those are some things that I would probably try. So, how did we do at the end? Again, we had 54 inches. We maintained that same length of time, of length. We had 14 units that were good. That's huge improvement. We had only 1 unit that could not be sold, That's a great improvement. And overall, we had 15 units. So it was a huge improvement. You could see that by pulling the material in the process and balancing that workload, that the flow actually increased. So it feels a little non-intuitive when we do that, but when we pull material, it actually can improve the flow. So some takeaways for you guys. We're near the end. I hope that you have seen that small, simple changes can have significant improvements. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to ask why, and that's how you truly understand what's happening in the system. Having fun is a huge priority. I always love to have fun. I like to make sure that the people I'm working with are having a good time. Try. Always play. There's never a negative to trying something different. There's no problems out there. There's only opportunities to make it better. And then also there's many ways to work in tech, right? So none of what we did had computers involved, had digital involved, but it improved a system, it improved a process, it improved life and work for those workers. And it's fun. So thank you very much for listening in. I hope that you've had fun. I hope that you've had some insights into a different career path. If you have any questions at all, or if you want to play some more, please contact me at ssook@ancestry.com. And I hope that you guys have a great day.